The legal trick casinos use to win, explained simply. Casinos aren't rigged with magnets, they're rigged with math. Tiny underpayments here, faster betting there, and the house prints money. But 3 people flipped that script. One negotiated the rules until blackjack behaved like a coin flip. One measured roulette until the wheel confessed a bias. And one proved, with pure math, that a deck could be beaten until casinos rewrote the rules. Stay to the end. I'll show you the legal trick casinos use and how each of these 3 turned that same trick back on the house. Educational only, gamble responsibly. Let's prove the rig in 20 seconds. On American Roulette, there are 38 slots. If a single number bet were fair, a $1 wager should pay 37 to 1. Casinos pay 35 to 1. Over 38 spins, you expect 1 hit. You win 35 once and lose $1 37 times. Net -2 on 38. Wagered, about a 5% house edge. No magnets, just an underpaid payout. Now multiply a small edge by speed. Slots push hundreds of spins per hour. Blackjack or baccarat might be 60 to 80 decisions. Same bankroll, different drain. Here's the pocket model you'll use all night. Expected hourly cost is approximately bet size. Times bets per hour times house edge. Bet times speed times edge. Keep that in your head, because our 3 stories either shrank the edge, slowed the speed, or bent the rules. The first person we're covering outplayed the house by controlling the rules. In a high-limit room, this player negotiated blackjack terms that pushed the game close to even. Things like the dealer standing on soft 17, liberal splits, and healthy limits. And then added a twist, a loss rebate on brutal sessions. If he ended a session down big, think hundreds of thousands, the casino refunded a slice of the loss. That rebate doesn't help when you're near even, but it cushions the worst nights where variance hits hardest. Here's the napkin picture. Imagine a session where you either finish up 500,000 or down 500,000. On winning nights, you keep the full positive 500,000. On losing nights, a rebate trims negative 500,000 to, for example, negative 400,000. If the base rules already pushed blackjack close to break even, smoothing the worst outcomes nudges the long-run average your way. If you're disciplined about stop wins and stop losses, and you don't chase. This wasn't about counting cards. It was about pricing the game, demanding terms, and sticking to them. Casinos later tightened offers and lowered limits. But for a brief window, the same levers the house uses, rules and structure, were used against it. Control the rules and the rig can run for you. The second person we're covering beat the house by measuring the device. In the 1990s, a family recorded tens of thousands of roulette spins, wheel by wheel, casino by casino. Real hardware wears down. Frets scuff, pockets grow uneven, tables tilt by a whisper. Their data showed a handful of numbers hitting a bit more often than pure math predicts. If a number's true chance creeps from 2.7% to, say, 3.2%, that tiny bias can erase roulette's built-in edge. Bet the favored cluster consistently and over time, expectation flips. No gadgets, no past posting. Just measurement, selection, and discipline. Casinos fought in court. The ruling was simple. Advantage play isn't cheating. The counter move arrived in the pit, not the courtroom. Maintain and rotate wheels more often. Level tables precisely. Swap parts before bias emerges. Once the device was patched, the house edge returned. If the device leaks value, the rig flips, until the wrench arrives. The third person we're covering changed blackjack with information. A mathematician proved that cards dealt from a finite deck change. What remains? Track that composition with a simple plus-minus count. Raise your bet when the deck favors you, lower it when it favors the house, and you can steal back a small edge. With perfect play and friendly rules, that edge might be 1 to 2% in favorable shoes. A team later systematized it. Spotters tracked counts quietly. A big player only sat down when the math turned green. Signals coordinated entry and exit, so most hands were placed when the edge existed. All legal, because information from exposed cards is public. Casinos responded by changing the environment. More decks in the shoe. Frequent shuffles and continuous shufflers. Rule tweaks like blackjack pays 6 to 5 that quietly hand value back to the house. When you win by information, the house wins by rule changes. I promise the only bet inside a casino with a 0% house edge, and there is one with a catch. In craps, you can take odds behind a pass line bet after a point is set. Those odds chips are paid at true odds. No house edge on that portion at all. The catch is simple. You can only place that fair bet after making a base bet that does have an edge for the house, and casinos limit how much odds you can take. It's like a coupon stapled to a full-price item. The house is generous right where it doesn't hurt. Let's tie the pieces together so you can see the machine. The house wins with 3 keys. First, underpaid odds, like roulette's 35 to 1 instead of 37 to 1, create a tiny slope against you. Second, speed, hundreds of decisions per hour, turns that slope into dollars. Third, rule control, payout tables, deck rules, side bets, table limits. Lets the casino dial the slope to taste. Our three outliers simply stole back one of those keys. The negotiator controlled rules and used rebates to flatten downswings. The analyst measured the device and found wheels whose physics nudged expectation his way until maintenance caught up. The professor and the team used information to push a microscopic advantage during specific windows until the pit changed the rules and the pace. Now, let's make this practical for you, because most players aren't negotiating contracts or charting wheels. Use the pocket model. Bet times speed times edge. Price your hour before you play. If your goal is time, pick low-edge bets and slow games, lower your average bet, and take breaks. If your goal is thrills, understand the ticket price of that hour and cap your session. Skip side bets with flashy payouts you've never heard of. They're often expensive entertainment. In blackjack, prefer 3 to 2 tables over 6 to 5. In roulette, single zero is kinder than double zero. In craps, use odds to attach some fair money to your base bet within your limits. In slots, remember, the entertainment is the show. The speed is the cost. A final word about streaks. Winning streaks feel like skill. Losing streaks feel like bad luck. Both are variance sitting on top of expectation. In the short run, variance can hide the slope. Over many bets, the slope wins. That's why casinos love pace. Small edge times many bets. Your turn. What's the most expensive bet you've ever taken? Side bet, tie, insurance, a weird prop? Comment it below. I'll pin a few and break down the math on each one. If this helped, subscribe to Cashflow Coach TV for more no BS money breakdowns. And hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Play for entertainment, not profit. The house doesn't need luck, only patience.